All right, ladies and gentlemen. So, very quickly, just a video to kind of remind you of some stuff and go over a couple problems that you are going to be doing. First thing, if you're looking at the screen, is the highlighted stuff is the assignments you need to get done, and a reminder at the bottom of what you need to get done for today. So, I know I haven't been super clear with when things are due. Hopefully, this will help you to do that. So, the two things you need to do. Number one, big idea scavenger hunt. We started it on Thursday. Make sure you finish that up. Hit submit when you're done with that. That is due Tuesday the 8th during your asynchronous time, at least by the end of the day. Second thing is what I'm going to go over some problems to help you with. That is the getting ready practice problems. Keep in mind this time, this stuff might not take you the whole time. So please make sure that you also complete anything specifically when I'm looking at assignments, the math proficiency problems from, I want to say it was Wednesday of last week. You guys had asynchronous time because we had class Thursday. So please make sure you get that done as well if you have not. But other than that, do number one. I'm going to go over some problems. You should probably watch this video before doing number two. And it's going to be a quick review here. We're just adding real numbers, basically. Adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing. And it's just a review of that. I want to make sure you guys are clear on that. So some of these are going to be positive, some of these are going to be negative. I'll go through an example of each of the different operations. Addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. So here's addition. And basically, if the numbers are the same sign, you're just going to add the numbers. And if they're different, like here, you're basically going to subtract the numbers. So what I mean is, if they were the same, and obviously if it was 12 plus 4, you would just add the numbers. But what I mean is, you can also add the numbers here, right? 4 plus 12 is 16. And since they're both negative, your number is just going to be a bigger negative number, a more negative number. So if you have negative 4 and then you're taking away another negative 12, 12 plus 4 is 16. They have the same sign because they're both negative. Now, if they're different, like in the example, 4 plus negative 12, also, I don't want you to use a calculator for your examples. Try and do the problems without using a calculator. All right, 4 plus negative 12. So in this case, you want to subtract the numbers. 12 minus 4 would be 8. All right, so 8 is part of our answer. Change colors here. 8 is part of our answer. And now we just need to decide if it's negative or positive. And what you want to look at is, of the two numbers we just added, which one's bigger? 12 is bigger than 4. The 12 is negative, so your answer will be. So just a reminder there. Something else I wanted to mention is you could also do it this way. I think this is something that I taught last year, where if it's plus and minus, it's basically like subtracting. And then you do 4 minus 12, you take away those 4, and then subtract the remaining 8. So another way you could think about it is this, whatever works for you. The first way that I did it was just a new way that I'm trying to teach it. All right, next one. We have subtraction. Now, the way that I'm trying to teach it this year that might be helpful to you is this. Anytime you see subtraction, let's make it an addition problem. Okay, so what I mean by that is it's using the keep, change rule, something you may have heard before. All right, so when you see that subtraction between two numbers, and you can't do this, well, you can with variables, but it might make it a little harder. So just do this with numbers. But negative 7 is going to keep or stay, and you're going to change the sign to a plus, and you're going to change the number. So keep, change, I'll try to write it here, keep, change. Keep the negative 7, change the sign, and then change the negative 16 to a positive 16. And you can do this for any subtraction. So what I mean is, if you did negative 7 minus 16, When I say keep, change, it's keep the -7, change the subtraction to a plus, and change the +16 to a -16. So that was if it was a different problem. When I say keep, change, you can do it for any subtraction problem. You can see it makes it addition. So let's finish out that first problem where I did keep, change, -7 plus 16. So in this case, subtract the numbers, just like the last one. If they're different signs, you subtract the numbers. So 16 minus 7 would be 9. And the bigger number is positive. So that is your answer. So for our different example in that case, again, follow those rules. They're the same sign, so your answer is going to be negative. And you're going to add 16 and 7, which would be 23. So that's a different example, obviously, but I just wanted to show you two ways to do the keep, change. The other way you could think about it, and I'll just go to the original problem, is it's -7. No matter how you do it, you're going to end up with the same answer. And what I taught you guys last year, or at the very least taught some people last year, minus a negative is the same thing as a plus. So that keep, change does the same thing no matter how you think about it. And that is subtraction. So addition and subtraction. And what's kind of nice is with keep, change is no matter what the numbers are, you're changing the subtraction to addition, and then you can just follow the same rules as addition. So that's kind of, like I said, I don't remember teaching it that way last year. I don't know if you guys were taught that way, but different way of looking at it, I think it helps. And with subtraction, keep in mind you have to keep the same order. Subtraction and division are kind of stuck. Addition and multiplication are the ones you can switch if you needed to. And when I say switch, I mean switch the order. All right, so now multiplication. No matter what the signs are, you're going to multiply the numbers. So 5 times 3 is 15. All right, and when you take a negative times a negative, it's going to be positive. So that is your answer. If it was slightly different and it looked like this, do the same thing. You always multiply the numbers in multiplication. 5 times 3 is 15. And then in that case, one of them is negative. So it would be negative. So a different problem there. But with multiplication, you're always just multiplying the numbers and then deal with the signs afterward. Two negatives, negative times a negative would be a positive, and then if you have one negative, it's going to be negative. Pretty simple there, I would say. You guys probably remember that the best, if I had to guess. Finally, division. 15 divided by -3. And kind of like multiplication, you're just going to do the operation. All right, so no changing, no worrying about the signs at the beginning, where you do 15 divided by 3 is 5. And just like multiplication, if there's two negatives, like a negative divided by a negative, it would be positive. But because it's a positive and a negative, different signs, it's going to be negative. And so what I mean is if it was -15 divided by -3, oops, come on. This pen does not always work super well. 15 divided by 3 is 5, and because it's a negative divided by a negative, that's your answer. So other than that, that's about it. I have 8 problems that you need to do in here, in the getting ready practice problems. Other than that, please just make sure all of your assignments are complete. They're going to show up in Skyward. They're definitely going to show up in Schoology. So please just make sure all of the assignments that need to be done are done. Specifically for today, it's the 2 highlighted. But anything else, please be done. Other than that, I will see you live on Wednesday.